Want to be a topper in MBA entrance exams? Join BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and watch serial 99 percentilers teaching you the tips and tricks.
Good noon, all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to you. I am Nikita, and today we are going to discuss some vocabulary words, some high frequency vocabulary words that have a likelihood of coming in your exams. And some of these have already appeared in your exams. Okay, so these are not going to be very difficult words for you. Some words that you may read only, let's say, in academic textbooks or in novels. No, these are the words that you may have heard, you may have read, but you might not know the exact meaning of some of these. You would know the exact meaning. So see, not all vocabulary questions are difficult questions. That is also something that we are trying to establish through this series. Okay, it's a two-part series. Today is part one, right? I'll show you some of the high frequency words from the point of view of your aptitude exam, right? So let's begin. Good noon, Sanil, Dharmi, Sonali, Soumyadeep. So I have timed you for all these questions. Okay, I'm going to time you, and the time is going to vary depending on the difficulty level of the question, right? So for the initial questions you'll get 30 seconds, then I'll gradually decrease it to 20 seconds, then to 10 seconds. Okay, so the idea is to keep you on your toes, and today you can even score yourself, right? Treat it as a quiz, score yourself. So what we'll do is we'll attempt questions in lots of 5. Okay, so I'll show you 5 questions at a stretch. You will answer them, then we'll discuss those 5 questions. So that way we'll discuss them in lots of 5. Okay, hope this is clear to everybody. Good afternoon, Subendu, Anuja, Prats, Yashashri, Kashish. Good noon. Right. So I am going to show you the first 5 questions now. Okay, 30 seconds for each question. Let's see what you say. Question 1. Acha, before this, yes. I wanted to first of all clarify this, that students think that vocabulary is something that will be asked, let's say, as direct questions only, okay, or it's something that's going to help them only when it comes to vocabulary. I know I have talked a lot about it helping you indirectly also, right? But let me just emphasize this once more, that it will help you particularly to gauge the author's tone, because the author's tone is determined by, in an RC passage, an author's tone is determined by the kinds of words that he or she uses. So if you don't know the meanings of those words, it becomes difficult to gauge the tone of the author for an RC passage. So I just wanted to highlight this, that how it is useful for RC passages, not just for comprehending them, okay, not just for, let's say, grasping the main idea, but also for understanding the author's attitude in an RC passage. It will even help you in your reasoning questions, in your parajumble questions, right? If you don't even understand the sentence, how will you arrange the sentences into a paragraph? And lastly, of course, it does help you with your vocabulary questions. So just wanted to emphasize about the author's tone and about reasoning. So let's begin. And your homework is going to be that you have to, after, let's say, learning these words, you have to go back and you have to look up their synonyms, right? That is your homework, something I expect you to do, because from this exercise, what is going to happen? These 50 words are going to multiply. Let's say you looked up 3 synonyms per word. They're going to multiply to 150 words automatically, isn't it? Right? So that's your homework. Okay then. First question on your screen. Just a second. Okay. Yeah. Start. 30 seconds. Very easy, right? Mark the synonym or meaning of the given words. Let's see what you say. The word is advocate. Here, advocate has been used as a verb, right? So, let's see what your response is. Okay, so 30 seconds have elapsed. Okay, C, B, all right. A, okay, C, B, D, all right. So I'm getting quite a number of responses here. I didn't expect this. Advocate is an easy word. Okay, so the answer is to plead for something, okay? To make a case for something. It's used as a verb here, right? So when you plead for something, when you make a case for something, when you are on the side of something, okay, that's when you are advocating that thing. So let's say I advocate reforms in government schools in India. That means I am pleading for, I'm making a case for those reforms, I am favoring those reforms, I am on the side of those reforms. That is what it means to advocate. To insist on something, you understand? Yes, to insist on, when you keep saying that okay, something should happen, that's when you are insisting upon it. Persuade, agree, very easy word. So the first question was very easy. Let's look at the second question. Abstinence. After the first 5 questions, we'll see what our scores are. Thirty seconds have elapsed, about to be over. A, okay. Provoking, okay. B, all right. C, okay, okay. So the answer is self-denial, right? So abstinence is to abstain from something, okay? Abstain is the verb and abstinence is the noun, right? So if someone abstains from alcohol, that means they don't consume alcohol. So to abstain yourself from something is to restrict yourself from consuming it particularly, from doing it particularly, right? So self-denial, absolutely correct. Those who marked A, right? And I think the other words again, not really vocabulary words, so you know the meanings of these words already. Indifference, postponement. Third question, blemish. So blemish, all of us understand what a blemish is, yes? Blemishes. When you see the ads of detergents, right? If those ads are in English, they talk about removing blemishes, removing stains, right? So a blemish is an imperfection, a sort of a stain, a sort of a mark that needs to be removed. Okay. So metaphorically, it is used to mean imperfection. Absolutely correct. What does it mean to coax someone? Coaxing is a word that is written here. Yes, coax. When you coax someone to do something, you, you, yes, you persuade them to do that thing. Okay, this is a very persistent but gentle persuasion. That is what it means to coax someone, right? So, gentle but persistent persuasion to do something, right? Good, Vicky. Good, Amrit. Absolutely correct. An old wound, no, okay. So other words you know, right? The just coax could be new for you. Blemish is again an easy word. So easy words, not so difficult words. Clemency. Let's see what you say. Clemency. Give the meaning of the word. 30 seconds in all. All right. Let's see. So I've got one response already. Good. Others. Okay. All right. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Good. Quite a few of you have said A. Yes, and correct. A is the answer. Clemency. The first time I read this word was in the newspaper, that a clemency petition has been sent by so and so prisoner to the president. So then I wondered what a clemency petition is. So it's actually a petition to have mercy on the prisoner and reduce his or her sentence. Okay, so it's a mercy petition. Clemency means mercy. In fact, there is a related word which has been questioned, even which comes as a question later on. Inclement. Inclement. So clemency is the noun. Clement. Clement is the adjective here. Clement is the adjective, right? And inclement is the opposite of this. Inclement is the opposite of this. Usually, the words clement and inclement are used with weather. Okay, that's how I have heard them being used with weather. So clement weather, pleasant weather, right? As if the weather is merciful towards us, right? Inclement weather, harsh weather, as if the weather is not showing any mercy towards us, right? So clemency, absolutely correct, Vishal. Inclement weather is bad weather, right? So clemency is mercy. And let's go to the next one, exiguous. I can see two vocabulary words here in the options. Exiguous. It's quite a formal word. Exiguous. Yes. The answer is meager. Okay, exiguous is meager. So why I remember that, Vicky, is because that's how I associate those meanings then. Okay, okay. So I read this in this context. So it's through association that you learn a lot of words, right? So that's why I think it helps me to retain that. Absolutely correct. C is the answer. Some of you have said A and B also. But no, exiguous means something that's very small in quantity or number. Small in number, small in amount. That is exiguous. Now, plentiful, something plentiful is the opposite. Now, copious. What does copious mean? It's an adjective again, just like exiguous and meager. Copious is also an adjective, but what does it mean? Tell me. There's an interesting story also behind copious. Now that's how I remember it. See again. Good noon, Suraj. Copious means abundant. Absolutely correct, Vicky. It means abundant. Plentiful, actually, is a meaning of copious. And this word is related to another word, cornucopia. Cornucopia. Cornucopia is a noun and it again means abundance. It again means abundance, right? So this word, I am sure that some of you have heard this story or we have covered it in a couple of our sessions, let's say. This word comes from Greek mythology, cornucopia, right? The god Zeus, when he was born in Greek mythology, it's a story, he was gifted a ram's horn by the gods. Okay, by the other gods, he was gifted a ram's horn. Now, this horn, although it was just a horn, but this horn could hold an unlimited supply of food and drinks. Unlimited supply, right? So, an abundance of food and drinks could be held in this horn and could be produced when it was required. So the name of this horn was cornucopia. The name of this horn was cornucopia. Okay, and from that cornucopia came to mean abundance. Right? So copious, cornucopia, meager, exiguous. 4 words from one question. Now you can see how you have fared in the first 5 questions and see, because these are high frequency words, I'm sure that you've got quite a few of them correct. Advocate, very easy. Okay, abstinence again, if you've heard it, not a difficult one, right? Blemish, very easy. I think advocate and blemish, everybody should have got correct, right? Clemency, some of you may have heard it, some of you may not have. Exiguous, again, the same thing, right? This was a relatively more challenging one. Okay, so let's see. Exiguous is an adjective. Yes, Aishwarya. Exiguous is an adjective. Okay, I'm looking at all your responses. So basically, when the timer is moving, I am unable to come to the chat screen, right? That's a feature of PowerPoint. So the moment the timer gets over, I come and see your responses, right? So don't think that I'm not looking at your responses. Vishal, Tanvi, Soumyadeep, yes, abundant was the correct answer for copious, right? And yeah, all right. Coming to nouns. Again, for the next 5 set of words, again, I want you to be, let's say, on your toes and want you to calculate your score, right? Towards the end, of course, we'll see out of 50 how many we've got correct. 50 words, 50 questions, that's our goal today. And all of them are going to be high frequency words, right? Question 6. Effusion. What does it mean? Let's see, let's see. So, let me see who has answered. Okay, nobody has answered. Okay, Vicky is the first one to answer. Path, all right. I hope you're not Googling the meanings. Yes? Effusion, D, Delhi. Absolutely correct. Absolutely. Good. So, again, uh, now you will think, okay, now that ma'am remembers where she read it. So, to be honest, I never really Googled or looked up the meaning of effusion or effusive. I always read this in, let's say, various novels where, let's say, one character is thanking the other character a lot, right? So the sentence would say, she thanked him effusively. Okay. She thanked him effusively, or he thanked her effusively. So I understood that it means, okay, to do something to an excessive degree, basically to do something a lot, right? That is what it means. And yes, when I did look up the meaning, effusion or effusive, it means doing something in abundance again, right? An uncontrolled expression of emotion. That is effusive, right? So D is the answer here. It's not any of the others. They're not even related, right? Okay. So effusion was that. Coming to voracious. Voracious. I think all of us have heard that she's a voracious reader, he's a voracious reader. Yes? So we can relate. Okay, let's see what you say. Okay, I've got D, A, all right. D, hungry. Okay, okay, all right, for this one. Okay, okay. So, most of you are correct. The answer is D, Delhi. Right? So, profusely, yes, it can also be used when you are thanking someone to a great extent. Okay, just that effusive particularly has to do with, your expressing of gratitude, your emotions, right? So, profusely, you can use it that when you do anything in a very abundant manner, that is profuse. But effusive is very closely related to emotion. That's the only difference, right? Okay. So, insatiable, voracious means that. However, we have a couple of words. I think complacent everybody knows, but sated, not everyone may know. So, first of all, Let's clarify this. Voracious, why does it mean insatiable, and what is insatiable? It comes from the root voros, right? We'll have a session based on etymology also, based on root words also. There we'll focus on that. Voros means absolutely to eat. So someone who is a voracious eater, someone who eats voraciously, eats in large amounts, okay, very hungrily, that person is a voracious eater. Now this word started being used metaphorically, right? So in a metaphorical sense, somebody who does anything with a lot of passion, hunger, right? So a voracious reader would read a lot. Okay, so insatiable, their appetite, you can't really satisfy their appetite. That is the idea. Insatiable. Their appetite for books cannot be satisfied if a person is a voracious reader. And sated. Sated is an adjective that means the opposite. Okay, so if let's say you've eaten a lot today and you're really full, that's when you are sated. Okay, so this is again used primarily for appetite, but then later on we started using it metaphorically also. If let's say any desire of yours has been satisfied to the full, then we say that you are sated. Okay, absolutely correct, Vishal, Anuja. Correct meanings for voracious. Question 8. Preconception. Preconception. Not a difficult word. I think the pre kinds of give it kind of gives it away. Pre is before, right? So either A is the answer or D is the answer, isn't it? And if you look at it, foresight. Foresight is when you're able to see things that are going to happen in the future. That's when you possess foresight. You are a discerning person. But preconception, a concept, right? It has concept in it. So preconception is when you form an opinion, your preconceived notions, okay, are your preconceptions, right? An opinion formed even before, let's say, you encounter something, that is your preconception. Sometimes it might turn out to be wrong. Okay, so our answer is A here. This was an easy word. Most of you should have got it correct. Ninth, puerile. You're right. What should be the answer? A high frequency and good vocabulary word. Let's see what you say. Okay. All right. So A is what I've got. Others B. Okay. What else? B. Okay. C. A, B, C. Quite a few B's though. No, B is not the answer. Puerile is the opposite of mature. Puerile means childish. Puerile means childish. Juvenile. Juvenile behavior. Juvenile can be used as a noun also and as an adjective also. As a noun, it means people who are of a minor age, right? They are not major. They are of a minor age, right? So, juvenile crime, right, is crime committed by people who are of a minor age. Now, as an adjective, however, juvenile means childish. Stop exhibiting such juvenile behavior when we say that, right? So, juvenile, puerile, they are synonyms, right? And at this stage, I also want to talk about the difference between childish and childlike. Although many of you must be aware of it, childish versus childlike. If I say childish behavior, I am really annoyed by that behavior. It's very immature behavior. But childlike behavior or childlike innocence, when we talk about that, childlike is a positive word. You basically associate it with the positive aspects of childhood, and this one you associate with the negative aspects of childhood, right? So, puerile is juvenile and childish is a synonym, right? And no, the others are not related. Okay, the next question. Okay, Vishal. Yes, yes, acknowledged. Precocious is the opposite. Somebody who's wise beyond their age. That person is a precocious person, right? Okay. Fatuous. Yes. What does fatuous mean? Tell me this while attempting this question. Fatuous. Hmm. Is it related in any way to infatuation? You say there's no, oh, this is not love, this is infatuation. So yes, it is related. Fatuous is again something that's pretty silly. Okay. And infatuation, again, this silly behavior, this foolish behavior when you think that you're in love but you're not. Right? So fatuous, absolutely. Callow means young and inexperienced. Okay, just a second. I think the timer has stopped. Sorry. I changed my screen to see your responses, but the timer stops when I do that. Let this complete and then I'll come back. Derision. That's how it is pronounced. Derision. When you deride someone, the verb for this is to deride. So when you deride someone, of course you're not praising them. You're not showing anything positive. Again, you must have heard this in a negative context only. Even if you don't know the meaning, you would have known that okay, this is a negative word, derision. So derision means contempt, right? So when you show, when you know mock someone, ridicule someone because you dislike them, that is derision. Okay, that act is a derisive act. Okay. Fatuous, yes, it means silly, absolutely. Childlike is basically associated with the innocent aspects of childhood. Callow is not exactly a synonym. Callow means young and inexperienced. Young and inexperienced. So it's associated with a lack of experience rather than a lack of maturity, so to say. But yes, if you look at maturity in the sense of experience, we become mature through experience, then yes, you can associate callow with that, right? So in that sense, yes, you can use it in a negative manner. Okay. All right. All right. Yes. So I hope this is clear to you. Now, out of the first 10 questions, you can see how many you've got correct, right? Most of these were easy questions. Now, a couple of them could have been, let's say, puerile. I saw that I got a lot of different answers for it, right? Voracious was easy. In case you've done word par made easy, a lot of these words should be familiar to you. Effusion could be new for you. So out of these, two words could be new for you. 6 to 10. All right. So I hope, yes, you've been enjoying the session. And yes, clandestine. We have different question types also. Don't think that this is how the session is going to proceed. We have true, false. We have a lot of other question types. You'll see. Clandestine. Clandestine activity is an activity that is done in secret. Something secret is clandestine. Okay, a clandestine affair. Again, see, I have heard it. I think I heard it for the first time when I read about it. Usually, I think I must have come across it in a fiction book only. A clandestine affair, a secret affair, right? So it has to be a covert. It has to be a covert affair, right? So covert is again something that is secret. Overt is something that is not a secret, something that's visible to everybody, known to everybody. Okay, so an overt activity is something that's done in the view of the public eye, let's say. A covert activity is done in secret, right? Candid, not associated with it. I think all of us who live in the age of Facebook and Instagram know what candid is. Yes, a candid conversation, a candid picture. Yes, so when let's say it's a natural one, when you're not faking it, when you're not posing, it's a freewheeling chat, then it's called a candid chat, right? Predestined. This is a religious concept actually. Predestined. There is a noun form also for it. Predestination. Predestination. I think there's a movie also called Predestination. So predestination is a concept in Christian theology. It says that things have been already decided as per God's divine will. right? For instance, let's say which people are going to attain salvation while which people are not, right? So things have been pre-decided. So this act of things being pre-decided by God's divine will is called predestination. Okay, so if I say this is predestined, that means ये तो होना ही है. Okay, so that's the idea. Clandestine is covert. Hope this is clear. Candid is frank, yes. A freewheeling chat, a frank chat is a candid chat or conversation, okay. Yes, it is associated with fate path. Overt is an adjective, yes. Overt is also an adjective. Candid, all of these, in fact, all of these are adjectives, okay. All right. So, hope this is clear. I think we learned some vocabulary words through this. Premonition. This is how it is pronounced, premonition. Right. Now again, you will. I heard this for the first time in a Ricky Martin song. Okay, the song was called "Vivi La Vida Loca." Okay, and it says, I have a premonition that girl's going to make me fall." That's what he says, right? So, premonition is when you have this feeling that something bad is going to happen, right? Foreboding, absolutely correct. Okay, so premonition, foreboding, right? When you have this feeling that something bad is going to happen, and the other words don't fit at all, right? So C is the answer here. All right, coming to the 13th question. Supercilious. Again, it's a word par word. So those who've done word par should get this correct. Supercilious. You can share with me also when you heard a word for the first time or what you associate a word with, right? We all have our own associations, right? Maybe I remember your association from now on. Cilia. Cilia refers to the eyebrow. If I break this word, no, super is above. OUS is the suffix that I've added to make it an adjective, right? So supercilious, somebody whose eyebrows are always like this. Okay, so such a person would not be a really happy-go-lucky and affable person, right? Such a person would tend to be arrogant. Okay, so those people, when you look at them, you will always find their eyebrows a little higher than they should be, right? Those arrogant people are called supercilious people, right? So supercilious came to mean arrogant. All right. Humble, modest. No, these are positive words. Yes. Modest, somebody who tries to hide their achievements. Punctilious. Yes. What does this mean? We've done it in one of our sessions, I remember. Punctilious. What does this mean? Is it related to punctual? Punctual, punctuation, puncture, all of these seem to share a root. Yes. The root is punctus, which means point. The root that they share is punctus, which means point. Yes, yes, Roosters has made the appropriate emoji. Please have a look at it. This is a person who's doubting something, although, but this is how a person who's supercilious, their eyebrow would look like. Very good, Amrit. Absolutely. Punctilious is a person who pays away a lot of attention, sometimes to the point of annoyance, a lot of attention to detail, right? Meticulous to the extreme. Such a person is punctilious. In fact, such people are very hard to please also. Fastidious is a synonym. Fastidious. Somebody who likes everything on point. That person is punctilious. On point. Punctual, we understand, who's always on point with regard to time. Punctuation, putting points in, let's say, a sentence. Puncture, basically as if somebody has pierced a needle and at a particular point, okay, that has created a hole, a point, and that's why puncture, right? So hope this is clear. Punctilious is meticulous, fastidious, concerned about minor details also. Supercilious is arrogant. Yes. All right, all right. Good, good, good. The responses, detail, look, attention to detail, meticulous, correct, correct. Yes, Gordon Ramsay. Yes, you can say that he's punctilious. You can create this association. Those of you who have seen his shows are aware of Gordon Ramsay. Oh God, he can be so insulting. So you can associate it with him. Right. Rapacious. Rapacious. Is it capacious? Is it avaricious? Is it generous? Is it capricious? All similar sounding words. Okay. Let the timer finish. Then I'll. Okay, nobody's responded yet. Fine. Okay. B, B, okay. D, all right. B again. A, B. So A, B, and D with mostly saying B. That's what I've got. B is the answer. Good. Avaricious. Okay. Rapacious is an adjective. Okay. Now, if I go into its root, no, it comes from this root rapier. Rapier means yes, to grab something, to grab something, right? So, in fact, the word rape is also related to it. Okay, so rapacious is basically when someone is greedy. When someone is greedy, has this tendency to acquire things, very acquisitive tendency this person has, right? That person is a rapacious person. Now, avarice again means greed. Avarice as a noun again means greed. It is one of the 7 cardinal sins mentioned in the Bible, right? Greed. So, avaricious is again greedy, right? Okay. So, coming to capacious. Capacious. Cap. Yes. So, when we talk about this cap, again, a root association, this one, this means to include, okay, basically to contain, that's the idea, to contain. So if I call a room a capacious room, if I call a room a capacious room, what kind of a room would it be? Yes, to contain, something that can contain quite a few people, right? So capacious is actually spacious. Capacious is just a fancy word for spacious. Okay, you can associate it with spacious also, that way also you can learn it. I remember the root also. Decapitate is also related to it. Cap actually can mean head, to head something, to contain something, right? So capacious, spacious, right? Avaricious, I associated with those 7 sins. Avarice, right? Then generous, we understand, right? Somebody who's very kind. And magnanimous. Magnanimous is a synonym. Okay, see, I tend to make this error. Magnanimous. Okay. Then altruistic is again a synonym. Altruistic, right? You've heard these words, you know these words, right? Some of you have read these, let's say, in 1 or 2 vocabulary books. Capricious. Yes, tell me. Capricious. Good, correct. All of you having a good capacity, lot of space. Capricious. Is it a positive word or a negative word? Okay, tell me that. Whimsical, correct. Also, somebody whose mood changes very quickly, right? Someone who's very mercurial. Mercurial is a synonym. Whimsical, mercurial. Okay, eccentric. Someone who witnesses sudden change in their moods. That person is capricious, right? So, I think 2 or 3 new vocabulary words for you just from one question, right? So, we learn a lot through vocabulary questions themselves. Okay, 15th question, annulment. What does it mean? Annulment. Easy, easy, very easy. Considering the options, they got their marriage annulled. Yes, so what did they do? They actually, in a way, nullified it. It has null in it, remember. Okay, it has a nullifying effect, right? That is annulment, to get something cancelled, right? Good, good, good. Uh, B is what you say. Absolutely correct. B is the answer. Easy one. This was easy. So 15 words down, and yes. So now, so far we saw some adjectives, some nouns. Now let's focus particularly on verbs, right? So the next few questions are going to ask you the meanings of some verbs. Yes. Let's see. 30 seconds again, or 20. I think 30 only. 30 for this one. Identify the meaning of these commonly used verbs. Okay. Instigate. So, what does it mean? To protest, to provoke, or the other two? To install, establish. To instigate someone is to provoke someone, to incite someone, right? Incite is again a synonym. Okay. So, to instigate, to incite is to provoke them to act, right? And this could be to act in a violent manner, to act, basically it's a negative word. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, instigate, incite, negative word. Bhadkana, that's the idea. Pontificate. Pontificate. Interesting origin for this word. Pontificate is related to the word pontiff. In fact, it comes from the word pontiff. So, pontiff is another name for the Pope. The Pope is called the pontiff as well. So, usually the main job of the Pope is to, lecture people, right? Basically, pontificate is a negative word, right? So, it means to speak pompously, as if you know all the things and you're just telling them to others. So, to speak in a pompous manner, as if the Pope were actually lecturing people, that is called to pontificate. You can associate it with pontiff, right? So A is the answer, absolutely correct. Yes, good. Comes from Christianity, yes, definitely. Enunciate. Enunciate. You also, after this question, have to tell me the difference between pronounce and enunciate. So basically the difference between pronunciation and enunciation. What have I done? Pronunciation and enunciation. I think it's the meaning must be clear to everybody. Yes. C, D, all right. Yes, Amrit. When you pontificate, you speak in a condescending manner. C, D, all right. Okay. So, see, pronunciation is concerned with speaking a word correctly. That you have the right emphasis. For instance, if I give you this word red, you read it as red only. You don't call it, let's say, raid. You don't call it read. Okay, you call it red only. So that's pronunciation. Enunciation is expressing yourself clearly. What does that mean? Of course, pronunciation is a part of it. But let's say I whisper red instead of speaking it at the right pitch. Then I'm not really enunciating it properly, right? then this word might be subject to misinterpretation. Let's say you said red, someone else heard bed, okay, and instead of giving you something of the color red, they gave you a bed. So that means you probably didn't enunciate it correctly. That's the difference between pronunciation and enunciation. For enunciating something well, you should of course pronounce it well. That's a prerequisite. But you should also speak it clearly, okay, at the right volume, using the right expressions. That is what enunciation is about. Okay, so D, that is the answer here, and hope this is clear. Postulate. So and so scientist postulated a theory. So I think making contextual associations helps a lot, because otherwise our mind might find it very difficult to remember so many words. Yes, postulate. So and so scientist postulated so and so theory. Okay, all right. D is what I'm getting. Okay, okay. I think to pose is what you are saying, is it? So and so scientist postulated a theory. So he posed for a theory. Okay. See, postulate is to posit, not to pose. It's to posit. Okay. I expected you to be correct here, even when I gave an example. To posit is to put forward, to suggest, to put forward. So and so scientist put forward so and so theory, isn't it? So why would they pose? They are not posers. They are not posing for pictures, right? To posit is the idea, not to pose. Now, a couple of other queries. Proposed, yes. Proposed, absolutely. Not pose, propose. Correct. Now, there were a couple of queries about enunciation. See, enunciation is concerned with one, it's very closely concerned with pronunciation. So, one is that, right? But what is the minor difference? The minor difference is not to just speak the word clearly, but also to express yourself clearly. Okay, again, how? By using the right pitch, the right volume, the right uh, tone also. Yes, even when I expand the definition, the tone also would be a part of it, right? So basically, whatever helps you to say something in clear and definite terms, that will come under enunciation, right? So express yourself or express anything clearly, formally, that is enunciation. Hope this is clear. Okay, to clearly say something. All right, all right. Pose and posit. Pose, see, if I say pose, that has multiple meanings. If I say this is posing a problem for us, let's just forget the meaning of picture wala pose, right? This new building can pose a problem for us, can pose a problem for our construction project. That means it can present a problem for our construction project, right? So pose is concerned with presenting, pausing, right? Whereas posit is concerned with putting forward, suggesting, right? So different words. All right, all right. Propitiate. Propitiate. Hmm. I associate this with temples. A lot of religious prayers are performed to propitiate the gods, to propitiate the spirits. Yes. So, again, I read this in the newspaper itself. Yes, it was some news related to the Padmanabha Swami temple, that some puja was performed there to propitiate the gods. Right. So to propitiate is simply to appease, to please, to calm someone down. Okay. To basically make them like you. So mollify is the meaning, to appease someone. to appease someone so that you don't incur their wrath. That is the meaning of propitiate, right? So to mollify again means to appease someone, to calm them down, to make them happy with you. That's the idea. Exasperate, yes. Learning a lot of vocabulary words without any context can leave a student exasperated. Can leave a student exasperated. Yes. Mollify, pacify, mitigate. Absolutely, absolutely. Correct, correct. Yes. So, exasperated is nothing but irritated, frustrated. Okay. So, when you're extremely irritated or frustrated, for that, the word that you'll use is exasperated. Look at it as a combination of frustration and irritation. Okay. That's how I look at the word exasperated, irritated and frustrated. But the answer here is D, that propitiate is to mollify. So 20 words down, and I'm sure in the process you've learned a lot more than 20 words. Yes, I can safely assume that you've learned approximately 30 words, like, right? Because in some questions there were quite a few words. Now, for the next few questions, I'm going to be giving you 20 seconds only, not 30 seconds. Why? Because you even have the context in these. So, for instance, in the 21, you don't just have the word audacious, an audacious plan, right? So, I want to see what you say here in 20 seconds. An audacious plan. I'll also tell you the context in which I heard it first. So, the word that I heard first was audacity, the noun form of audacious, right? So I clearly remember we were in class 10 and there was a play in which I had participated. Okay, now the play's rehearsals were going on, but they were clashing with our regular subject periods. Okay, so our teacher, one of the teachers who was training us for the play, she called me and she said, "Okay, go and call Nikita from so and so class." And I refused because we were completing an important topic and it was class 10, right? So she came to the class and she shouted at me like anything. She was like, "I call you and you have the audacity to say no." And at that point, I didn't know the meaning of audacity. Okay. So I later on looked it up that, okay, what was it that she meant? Audacity is कि तुम्हारी इतनी हिम्मत, that sort of boldness, that brashness. Okay. So an audacious plan is a very bold plan, a very brash plan, right? So D is the answer here. Right? I think easy word. Okay. 22. A latent talent. Okay. Let's see. Apparent, present but not apparent, valuable, useless. I think all of us have read the concept of latent heat in science. And from that, we could really answer this question. Yes? Latent heat. B, okay. Absolutely correct, Vicky. Right. So B is the answer. B, Bangalore. Not a difficult word, this one. Right. ये तो 20 से भी कम में हो जाता. 23. A disheveled person. A disheveled person. This is pronounced as disheveled, not disheveled. A disheveled person. कैसा होगा वो person? Useless, miserable, vicious, untidy. Latent demand. Absolutely, Sanil. Yes, latent demand for a product. That's what companies are after. To find a product that has a latent demand, to develop a product that has a latent demand. B, okay. C also I've got one. I've got one D also, but most of you are correct. Untidy. Disheveled is untidy appearance. बिखरे हुए बाल associated with that. Okay. बहकियां निगाहें और बिखरे हैं बाल. So this so Shah Rukh Khan there was clearly disheveled, right? Untidy. बिखरे हुए बाल associated with that. Okay. Feign illness. To feign illness. Shabby, yes. Correct. I'll tell you an interesting word. I'm sorry. I can't move away from the screen right now. Take a minute. Let this complete. Die from illness? No, that is not what it means. Uh, feign is a verb, right? And its noun form is pient. Pient. Those who are sports fans, they might have heard of this word, pient. Feint. When let's say the sports person pretends to throw in one direction. Let's say pretends to throw a ball in one direction, but then throws it in another direction. So he was simply feigning it, pretending it, right? So this act is called a feint. Okay, sports persons often employ feints to, surprise their opponents. So feign is to pretend. I think all of us knew this. Now, because it talks about to feign illness, a word came to my mind. The word is malinger. Anybody who knows the meaning of this word? Malinger? Yes. I learned this word when I started working. Okay. When you pretend to be ill, because you want to escape your work, that is called malingering. To malinger means to pretend to be ill just to escape your work, just to escape your duty, just to take a day off. To pretend illness to escape work. That is called malingering. Okay. So he malingered from so and so duty. You can use it like that. Right? So B is the answer for feign. Feint is the noun, and now you know a word for feigning illness in order to escape work. The word is malinger. An agile fielder. Yes, agile. Agility is the noun. 20 seconds in all. Very easy. The options are not even vocabulary words as such. Difficult vocabulary words. That's what I should say. Every word forms a part of vocabulary. Nimble, absolutely. Nimble is the answer here. So you are right in saying to shirk work, Sanil. Shirk is a more general term. Also, you could shirk it in any other manner also, not just by pretending ill. Malinger is related to pretending illness, right? Nimble is the answer. Absolutely correct. Correct. Uh, Vishal says yes. Correct, Vishal. Uh, B is the answer for this one. Nimble. Again, it means somebody who's very flexible. Flexible. That's the idea. Okay, when you're very adaptive, then you just add that as well. Okay. So nimble is the answer here. So 25 questions done. Again, I hope you're keeping a track as to how many you've got correct so far, right? And these were some context based questions. Let's see what the next questions bring, right? Now there'll be a lot of guesswork that you will be doing, okay, in the coming questions. So just try to guess that particular word based on the meaning that I give you. That's what you have to do, right? And yes, if you've been enjoying the session so far, please press the like button. We are halfway done, but the coming questions are relatively faster questions because there are no options in some of them. You just have to guess the word, right? But yes, you do expect to stay with me for the next half hour as well. Don't think that the session will end before 1:30, right? It's a longer session today. Okay, so do like the session if you're enjoying it. Yes, this is what you have to do now. Identify the word from its meaning. The first letter has been given to you. Okay, so B is the first letter. A very spirited and lively person. Yes, A spirited and lively person. What kind of a person will this be? No timer here. We'll be very quick in attempting these ones. These few questions. A spirited and lively person. Sorry, my head is coming in the way of some words. That won't happen from the next question. I haven't got any response so far. Very good, Chaya. Okay, I am elated that you answered this correctly. Vivacious. Okay, viv means life. So lively. A vivacious person is a spirited and lively person, right? Vibrant. Yes, you can relate it to vibrant as well. Okay, so see, usually the answer would be one word only, but that does not mean that other words from we cannot fit into this meaning. So vibrant also means somebody who is full of energy, full of life, right? So vivacious, lively, these are synonyms of vibrant. So even that could fit, right? Cool person. This is your millennial lingo. Cool person. Voracious, no. Voracious is somebody who does something very hungrily in a very passionate manner and in large amounts. That's the idea. There was a gap in the schedule. So give me a word for gap. And yes, let me tell you while you answer this that schedule and schedule, both the pronunciations are fine. In fact, in British English, schedule is the preferred pronunciation in British English. However, somehow because of style, everybody these days calls it schedule, so that's what I also do. Right. There was a gap in the schedule. Yes. So what was there? I think this sentence could have been better in helping you guess this. So, okay, let me give another sentence. The actor came back to work after a dash. The actor came back to work after a dash. And now you have to give me a word that starts from H. Hiatus. Very good, Amrit. Very good. Hiatus. Okay. Vivid is something that's very clear, very comprehensively and clearly visible to you. That is vivid. So why is it related to the root viv? Because it's as if it's lifelike. ये आपके सामने ही चल रहा हो, अभी हो ही रहा है वो चीज. That is the effect of a vivid picture, right? Okay. It was a dull performance. So what kind of a performance was it? Starting from L. Dull performance. Halt, there was a halt in the schedule, could fit. He came back after a halt does not make is not that appropriate. He came back after a hiatus. Okay. When celebrities take a break, when other people also take a break, we call it a hiatus, not a halt. Halt is more related to, let's say, vehicles halting or some sort of an obstacle coming in your way. Lucid is clear. Lucid is clear. Lame is ridiculous, silly. There should be gap. Yes, yes, yeah. I agree. I agree. It was a dull performance. Sunil, very close. Very close. It was a lackluster performance. It was a lackluster performance. So lackluster performance is a dull performance, right? So something luster is something that has shine in it, right? If I look at the you know uh, if I break lackluster, basically, so luster is something that has shine in it. Lackluster is something that's not that shiny, something that's dull, right? So lusterless, lackluster, both fit actually. Okay, and very close and absolutely correct. Lusterless or lackluster. For lackluster, also two spellings are acceptable. This and this. Okay, re and er. Re and er both are fine. Okay. Lethargic would be lazy. Lethargic performance would be a lazy performance, right? Languish, okay. Save that word, Saurabh. It might come in handy later on. It was a widespread practice. Everybody should answer this correctly. It was a widespread practice. P, starting from P. What kind of a practice was it? It was, come on, come on. Prevalent. Prevalent is the answer here. It was a prevalent practice. Something that is widespread is prevalent. Good, Vishal. Good. Prevalent is the answer. Okay. Pervasive is something that transcends, that is present at all levels. So yes, in that sense, yes, you could use pervasive as well. Okay, the main idea of pervasive is that it is present at all the levels. It is not something that's confined to one level. Okay, present widely throughout an area. Okay. So I'll add pervasive also here, just like I added lusterless there, right? Not pandemic. It's because pandemic is not related to a practice, it's related to a disease. He was a talkative person. Easy. L से word क्या है? He was a talkative person. This I want you to get correct. 30th. He was a talkative person. What kind of a person was he? He was a loquacious person. Absolutely correct. He was a loquacious person. Okay, loquer means to speak, loquacious is talkative. Those who've done word power would know this, right? And the answer here is loquacious. Very happy. So see, even without the letters, you're doing a fairly good job. Okay. So now an indirect or second hand experience. An indirect or second hand experience. In case you want me to add the letters. Okay. Hmm. That is the word. So what is this 9-letter word? So Vishal, see, because we are not native English speakers, this is a very common phenomenon. Okay. So the best thing to do is that whenever you come across a new word, just check its pronunciation as well. Okay. So the very first meaning that comes when you Google a word, that is from the Oxford Dictionary and that has the pronunciation speaker also there. No, so just press it. That's the British pronunciation. Vicarious, absolutely correct. Okay, vicarious is the answer. A vicarious experience is a second-hand experience, right? For instance, we live vicariously through the characters of the novels that we read, right? We become sad when they are sad. Yes. So I think the best example that I can give of it right now is when I saw the final episode of Panchayat, I actually lived that last episode vicariously. I cried rivers. Okay. So an indirect or second hand experience. Now, a fatigued or lazy feeling. Somebody mentioned the word related to it earlier. A fatigued or lazy feeling. Lethargic works, yes. Languid also works. Very good. Languid and lethargic. So when you're fatigued, you are feeling languid and basically lethargic. Both are adjectives. Both are adjectives. Lethargic. Sorry. Okay. Good. Good. Fatigued or lazy feeling. Languid. Like a languid Sunday, let's say. Okay. Unpleasant or unfavorable conditions. Unpleasant or we have done this word. Okay, let me tell you that. Yes. Hmm. This 9-letter word that we've already covered. Unpleasant or unfavorable conditions. Yes, Feeling, if you want to name the feeling, Amrit, that would be lethargy. If you want to give the adjective, that would be lethargic. Unpleasant or unfavorable conditions, कैसी conditions होंगी ये? Tell me. Okay. Lackadaisical is lazy. Lackadaisical is a fancy word. It's for laid back actually. It's a fancy word for laid back. Lackadaisical. Okay. It means laid back. आराम से करने वाले लोग. Inimical is hostile, yes, and I'll admit inimical also, because honestly speaking, that's the first word that came to my mind also. But here the word is something else. We have done this. Inclement, very good. Inclement. We can say inimical also, because inimical means hostile, right? So admitting that as well, right? Okay. Arrogant attitude. So of course it's not supercilious. It starts from C, right? This is the word. An arrogant attitude. This is, the pattern that we are currently discussing. This is exactly the pattern of word by made easy exercises. Okay, they ask you word meanings. They ask you to guess a particular word like this, right? They sometimes ask you true false also. So we do have true false as well later. Cocky, yes, but that does not fit in these blanks, in these letters. Callous, indifferent. Yes, when you're indifferent towards others' feelings. Condescending, when you look down upon others. In a way, yes, you are arrogant. Not complacent. No, not complacent. The word that we have here is cavalier. Okay, difficult to guess, I agree. Cavalier, right? So a cavalier attitude is a very indifferent and arrogant attitude towards others. Okay, so I am admitting callous also here for an arrogant attitude. Fine, let's admit condescending also. Okay. A biting remark, a remark that really hurts you. Conceited also fits, Tanvi. Correct, correct. Contentious is something that is disputed, something that is likely to result in a dispute, that is contentious. So it won't fit here. Okay. That is to scold. Chide is to scold someone. To chide someone is to scold them. Citrus. No, no. I think you are near, Vishal. You are near. It's not citrus. A biting remark. Criticism in general we say, okay, he or she was criticized. But a biting remark is called a, Vishal, it was not citrus, it was caustic. Caustic remark. Okay. A biting remark is a caustic remark. Right? Caust means to burn, right? Burn when we say. So, a burning, something that burns you, something that really hurts you. Caustic remark. Okay. Now. Okay, before we begin this. So now I'll be giving you 10 seconds, right? These questions are truly your test. Okay. I will discuss all of these in one go. Okay. So after each question, I'll not pause to explain. This is a test. Let's attempt the next 10-15 questions. Okay. As a test, and let's see how we fare. Right? Acidic also works, right? But caustic is better. Yes. Question 1. 15 frequently asked words. First is arbiter. Let's see what the answer is. It's moving pretty slow, this timer. Okay. 37. 10 seconds are up. Some issue with the timer, so changing. 38. 10 seconds are again up. 39. Don't worry about the answers right now. 10 seconds up. 40th. 10 seconds up. 41. Fortuitous. That's how it's pronounced. Fortuitous. 10 seconds up. Gargantuan. Gargantuan. 10 seconds are up again. 43. Indomitable. 10 seconds up. Motive. 'Right now I can't see the chat screen, so please hold your queries. Alright, 10 seconds up. Okay. So this was about these questions that we have just seen. 10 seconds. These were more for you, right? Rather than telling me the answer, right? So just see what you answered, whether it was correct or not. Let's quickly see that, right? 36 was arbiter. Arbitration is something that you must have heard of. Arbitration is when a mediator tries to solve the problem. This mediator is a disinterested party, not belonging to any party. Isn't that the job of umpire also? Does not belong to any team but makes decisions. So arbiter, umpire, related. Meaning, you can give this as the meaning of this word. Bona fide. Bona, good, fide, faith. Given in good faith. Something that's pretty genuine. Okay, when you take something from someone by trusting them, you expect the product to be genuine. So it's a legal term and it means genuine. Chauvinistic. We have often heard chauvinistic in the context of this male chauvinist, right? So chauvinism is simply when you feel that you are superior and the other person is inferior. Now, this superiority complex could be on the basis of anything, but originally this word was used when you felt that you are patriotically, superior. Your country is superior, others' countries are inferior. So that was what chauvinism originally meant. Now it is used for any kind of superiority feeling. So if, let's say, as a male you feel that you are superior and females are inferior, then you are a male chauvinist, right? So fanatically patriotic, fanaticism we have heard, when a person who is a fanatic is blindly devoted to a religious or political cause. Others we understand, exasperating we have done. Dexterity, Dexter's Laboratory, if anybody has heard of that cartoon. Dexterous means skillful. Originally, it meant skillful in the use of both the hands. Dexterous, right? In the use of hands, actually. So, then later on, the meaning became more general to mean skillful. Dexterous, skillful, dexterity, skill, right? There is a word called ambidextrous, somebody who can write using both hands. So, Virus in Three Idiots, in case you've seen Three Idiots, was ambidextrous. Now, this word is euphemism, and I am sure I must have discussed it with you at some point or the other. When instead of saying something that other people might find offensive, you use a politer expression for it. That is a euphemism. So instead of saying I want to go to the toilet, some people might be offended by it. You say, can I go to the washroom? Right? Instead of saying he died, we say he passed away. That's the politer expression for it. So C had to be the answer here, out and out. Adroit is a synonym. Very good, Vicky. Adroit is a synonym. Fortuitous is often confused with fortunate, but actually, although it is related, it does not mean the same as fortunate. Fortuitous means happening by chance. Simply something that's happening by chance. It could be something good also, something bad also, right? But fortunate is something good happening by chance. So that's the difference between the two. C is the answer here. Gargantuan. It comes from a from a book. I think it was a fairy tale. Gargantua was the name of a giant there, right? So from the name of that giant, Gargantua, comes this word Gargantuan, which of course means gigantic. Hoarse, harsh voice. Hoarse is related to harsh voice. If your voice is hoarse, that means it has become harsh, probably because you've spoken a lot today, right? Indomitable. Domination वाला domi है यहाँ पर, right? Something you cannot dominate, something that you can't conquer is indomitable. So invincible has to be a synonym. Something that you can't conquer, something that you can't win, something that you can't overcome, right? Motive, right? So if I say that that novel has the motive of female subjugation, that means the theme is that of oppression of women, right? So motive is a recurring theme, बार बार जो recur होता है. Okay, in designs also, अगर कोई design बार बार बनाया हो आपने कहीं, that is called a motive. All right, all right. Yes, euphemism is a figure of speech, absolutely correct. And with this, we have completed this test also. Please see how many of these words you got correct. Please score yourself, okay? Think that there is no negative marking. That is also there, right? And then tell me your scores. You can share it in the chat box. Now we are just left with a couple of true-false questions. We are done with a majority of our words for the day. So tell me, opprobrium, what does it mean? I mean, does it mean severe criticism? Is that true or false? Yes. Our team is telling you something in the chat box. Please listen to them. Opprobrium means severe criticism. True or false? T or F? T or F? Almost. Okay. Almost all of them. Alright. That's great, Vishal. If you got almost all of them correct. This is absolutely true. Opprobrium is a very formal word actually. Okay. You would not find it in your conversations. It's a formal word for criticism. Okay. काफी formal है ये. You can use it in your research paper someday. Potent means augur. True or false? Potent means to augur. True or false? This is again. This is potent means augur. Absolutely correct. Potent means augur is also true. To portend is to basically predict something. Okay. Usually, portend is used when you predict something major is going to happen or something bad is going to happen. When you predict that, that is to portend. To augur, again to predict. Okay. So in ancient Greece, there used to be people whose profession was to do this. They were called augurs. Okay. So you can use it as a noun also. Reconcile means to restore friendly relations. Again, should be true or false. The couple reconciled, yes. So, the couple is now again on friendly terms. It is again true. 47 is true. Okay. 48. Surmise means to know definitely. True or false? Surmise means to know definitely. True or false? Let's see what you say. "47. Okay, 47 you say true, all right. I know there's some lag, no? That's why probably. Vicky says false. Vishal also says false. Amrit also says false. Absolutely correct. Okay, surmise is to just conjecture, to just guess. Surmise is to guess, not to know definitely. Okay, she surmised that they must have left their home by now, right? Temerity and timidity are synonymous. Temerity and timidity are synonymous. Temerity and timidity, are they? Aditi says false. No, okay, that was 48. Sanil says false. I think for this only. Okay. Guess like we are doing. Acha, surmise is okay. Surmise is guessing, just like you are guessing. Absolutely correct. Again false. This is again false. In fact, they are antonymous. Okay. Although they look similar, but they aren't. Temerity is courage, boldness, brashness, audacity. Okay. Temerity is courage. Timidity, on the other hand, is shyness or lack of courage. Right. Shyness or lack of courage. So, antonymous, right? Temerity and timidity. Okay, timid and temerous, that's how we use it. Timid and temerous are the adjectives. Stentorian means loud. True or false? Stentorian means loud. True or false? This word comes from the Greek mythology again. There used to be this guy called Stentor, on whose name this word is based. So, absolutely correct. This is true. Stentor was the announcer of wars. Okay. Like he would give the war cry or he would make the major announcement. So, he had a pretty loud voice. So, the Greek mythology says his voice was equal to that of 50 men. So, stentorian means loud. Okay. Loud and powerful. So these were some words for the day. We attempted multiple question types, I think 3 to 4 question types, right? And we saw some new words, some words that were known to us, but we were not quite sure about their exact meanings. And all of these words are high frequency words. I urge you, in case let's say you are going to attempt CAT 22, right? I urge you to go through Word Power Made Easy. This book is going to help you tremendously to pick up about 1200, at least 1200 high frequency words. Okay, so please go through this, right? And I hope you enjoyed the session. I know it was a little long today, but if we wanted to do 50 words, right, it would take this much amount of time. Okay, all right then. I will see you next time. Yes, with another session, and we do have a part 2 of this session as well. Okay, yes, we do have a part 2 of this session, plus we later on have a session based on etymology specifically. So don't worry, we have a lot of sessions coming our way. This is our comprehensive program for CAT as well as all the other MBA exams. You get quite a few things here. Okay, if you're interested, you can call up our counselors. And do follow us on Telegram, right, to stay connected, to ask any queries that you have. You can just join this channel. Welcome, welcome. Great. I am really happy that you liked the session. Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome, all of you. See you. See you. Bye.